Shining lights for life.
137.
The ebony way.
One for all.
All for one.
People talk to people and people understand. Can we clap for ourselves? Can we clap for ourselves? But you didn't clap. Yeah, the one that taught us to clap. Can we clap for ourselves once more? Awesome. This morning, we want to look at why some people succeed against all odds. Why some people succeed against all odds. By Yaro Starak. Why some people succeed against all odds. The opening remark, it says, every dream will be challenged. Wow. Every dream will be challenged. Your dream is your vision. Every vision will be challenged. Your vision is your destiny. Every destiny will be challenged. Your vision is a prophecy, either revealed to you or that you receive through someone else. And if that vision is true, it will be challenged. That is the truth. So, many of us are not challenged because we don't have a dream. Many of us are not challenged because we don't have a vision. When I say we are not challenged, I mean we abandon the challenge. Because we don't have a dream, we don't have a goal, we don't have a vision, we don't have a destiny, a date with destiny. Or we don't even know that we have a date with destiny. Every dream will be challenged. These powerful words from a mentor of mine have been burned in fire into my memory. Rarely a dream or a goal comes true easily and effortlessly. Rarely. And without delays, without problems, and without hurdles. It is far more common, however, that you have to overcome many obstacles and suffer some pain before achieving any meaningful target. When those pains come, will you still persist? And in reading this, I realized why I myself have failed at many noble ventures that I had committed myself to in the past. And the bigger your dreams, by the way, the tougher your challenge. The more ambitious your goals, the more likely it is that you will face difficulties on your way towards them. We all remember Nelson Mandela. 27 years in jail to get to the presidency. Daily they will bury him in the ground, and the prison guard will be urinating on his head and will be telling him, you are urinating on your president. Now says, stupid man, we still spit on him again.
That was Nelson Mandela.
Yes.
They buried him in the ground.
Every day will be buried in sand. They'll dig, bury him to the neck.
In the prison.
Go and read stories of great men. You want to achieve greatness? Go and see what other great men have gone through to get to the place of greatness. Or is it Joseph? Incidentally, it was thrown into the pit. It looks like all of them was going to the pit. It was thrown into the pit. From the pit to prison. And then from prison to palace.
17 years.
Yes. Of travel. Through prison, through slavery. Or you want to talk about the great prophets that we know? Tell me which of them whose dream and vision was never challenged.
Jeremiah was trying.
He was dropped into a mire. You know what they call mire? It's a pit full of poo-poo. Mire. M-I-R-E.
Pit full of poo-poo.
That's what he was thrown into. He was thrown into a sewer. Not a local sewer. The old city sewer. Where everybody's poo-poo come to. He was thrown into it. Only his head was showing. Maggot all over him.
That Jeremiah.
Yes. Or is it Moses? We had to go and spend 40 years in the wilderness before coming back to take them again through another 40 years in the wilderness. Every great dream, every great vision, every great prophecy, every great destiny will be challenged. And the bigger your dreams, the bigger the challenge. Understand that? When this happens, what will you do? What will you do? Will you just give up? Of course, you have a choice, you can give up. Or will you persist and struggle and succeed? Will you? A lot of that depends upon your attitude and experience. Because your attitude will determine your altitude. Your attitude is your character. We're talking about virtues and vices. And you think this is not relevant. I said, by the time this one came to my understanding this morning, everything just fell into proper place. Proper place. You know, somebody came here the last time. We said it was capacity building. This is more than capacity building. This is a total transformation of a person. What capacity is he building if he doesn't have character? It's a total change of who you used to be. You come in at one end, by the time you come out at the other end, people don't recognize you anymore. Some of it depends upon your skills and what? Network. I didn't put it there, sir. Some of it depends upon your skills and network. And a tiny bit depends upon luck or chance. And many of us are betting our future on chance or luck. Go and pray. Then you go and play lottery. You are playing your destiny, your kalu with your destiny. I was recently invited to continue a chapter to a textbook on building an internet business and to share 3 things I wish I had known when getting started. In the introduction to it, I wrote, the key to my success back then lay more in the fact that I stuck to whatever I tried long enough for it to work. Long enough. I stuck to it long enough for it to work. It didn't say very long. It didn't say for a short while. For as long as it takes. That's why he said long enough. I stuck with it for as long as it takes. If it takes 1 year, I'll be there. If it takes 10 years, I'll be there. the key to his success. And it is absolutely true. With little, if any, knowledge or experience about business, as a novice writer and marketer, the only thing that kept my entrepreneurial journey going was a stubborn unwillingness to give up. You ask us, what has kept Ebony going? It was a stubborn unwillingness to give up. When we couldn't see any results.
That has been the factor that keeps every organization moving. Because
Through the initial stages, for you to break through finally. A stubborn unwillingness to give up. The bumpy road. Let's say you set out on a holiday trip. You load up your car with all the gear you need to enjoy a lazy week-long vacation. Plan your destination and set out on the drive. Halfway along your planned route, the road gets rough and bumpy. You are driving along an unpaved path with potholes and pits, bushes and brambles scraping the side of your vehicle. It's an uncomfortable ride with a lot of jolting and bumping in your seat. But unfortunately, this is the only way you can get to that lovely camping spot you remember fondly and love relaxing at. What do you do? What do you do? You could change your plans, turn the car around, and go back home. I can't kill myself. End of a dream. You can't kill yourself, but you have just killed the dream. Or drive back to the highway and go somewhere else. Abandon the dream and just play, follow another distraction. Even if your heart is set on this holiday spot, or you can curse and swear at the discomfort, but you keep on going. You sweat it out and you keep on going. Or you can count your blessings, be happy about having a vehicle to get you there, a path, even if a bad one, that leads to the place, and a map to direct you along the right route. Did you hear that? Or you can count your blessings. That is to say, rejoice in the adversity. When you have 1,001 reasons to give up and be unhappy, look for just one reason to be happy and keep going. Said, count your blessings. Thank God for having a vehicle at all. Others don't have. Even if it's a bad one. And then you have a path. Many have the vehicle, they don't have the path. And then you have a map to take you along. Many, they find the path, they get to cross, you don't know which way to turn. You have all that. So you can rejoice in that. Plus, you really, really love that sport and want to be there soon. You really, really love your dream. So how desperate are you about this, your dream? It's not the kind of desperation that I have concerning Ebony. I'm so desperate concerning it. I have said it, that this one, I will do it until God says come home. That's how desperately passionate or passionately desperate I am about this thing. Take Ebony away from me, I die. That's not the truth. Something inside me will die. In fact, you want that so bad, you are even willing to get down and hike the rest of the way if the car can't make it through. You abandon the car. You won't stop me. That journey is your life. And your business, your growth path. The vehicle is you, and the driver is your attitude. Did you hear that? That journey is your life. And your business, the growth path. The vehicle is you, and the driver is your attitude. If the driver is decisive and determined, he just won't give up. He just won't give up. What drives you? The courage and persistence to keep going on past hurdles and obstacles is powered by purpose. Your purpose. What is your purpose? purpose. I call that your life's great purpose. You can't go far with us on this journey if your life does not have a purpose. Because it's about you. You are our product. You, our people. You. Does your life have a purpose? That's the question. For what purpose are you even living? If it's just to wake up, eat, drink, and please go home, go and continue eating and drinking. Go and enjoy yourself. Let me tell you, immediately you understand this, you get less frustrated with people. You get less frustrated. You can easily, even when you realize a person is not doing it, you understand that this one doesn't have a purpose. And so you don't push such people.
Or he or she doesn't understand it yet. When you understand
No, everybody has a purpose. The lack of understanding, that's why we say you don't have a purpose. Otherwise, God created everybody for a purpose. But have you found that purpose? Those who have not found it will say that they don't have a purpose. Not because they don't really have a purpose. They have, but they've not found it. You don't understand? God did not had no time for making irrelevant things. So everybody created for a purpose. The question is whether you have found that purpose. So until you find it, we say you are just living a purposeless life, a life without purpose. As a pediatric heart surgeon, I learned a lot from my little patients. They have been knocked down by crippling heart defects that limit their capacity in many ways. Some struggle to even breathe and eat because their overloaded hearts won't take that strain. But they are fighters. They won't simply lie back and succumb. Because to succumb means to die. These tiny thoughts, some barely weeks or months old, will furiously struggle against the odds. Go through major surgery. That's the equivalent of being hit by a truck. And bounce back to life. Playing and running around the hospital ward barely days after. They have no choice. To give up is to die. Hello. Did you hear that? To give up is to die. You can't give up. We can't. We are going to fight for every inch. We are going to fight for every space. We are going to fight for every quarter we will possess. They have no choice. To give up is to die. And they are survivors. Your business must survive to what? To thrive. We mentioned that last time we were talking. Your business first must survive before you can begin to thrive. They are survivors. Are you? What drives you to keep on going? The answer to that question will lead you towards your powerful purpose. Any endeavor driven and fueled by purpose cannot fail. Hallelujah. Any endeavor driven and fueled by purpose cannot fail. Choosing strategies. There are 3 filters through which you must pass any task, any job or project you are called upon to do. It will help you decide if it will pass the I won't give up test. 1. Do work that matters. Do what? Do work that matters. There have been many occasions in my medical career when, at 2 in the morning, I've stood at the operation table, bone weary and exhausted, trying to staunch a bleeding artery or support a failing heart. It would have been so much easier and convenient to simply go back to bed and sleep. But the stakes were too high. When a child's life hangs in the balance, nothing else takes center stage. Everything else is placed on hold, and you simply do not give up. When you find work that matters, giving up is not an option. So choose only the kind of work that matters. No, it does not have to necessarily be life-saving or world-changing, but it should matter enough to you that you will not casually think of abandoning it when a distraction or obstacle crops up. Number 2, do work you love. Each one of us has had this experience at some time in our life. We get involved in something and forget the world around us. Maybe it's a book, maybe a movie, maybe a game. Maybe it's writing a story or a poem or a painting or programming a project. Maybe it's cooking or a hobby. You get so deeply involved with it that suddenly you look up and discover with startled surprise that hours have slipped by in just minutes. That happens when you do work that you really and truly love. Stuff that fascinates and engulfs you, that you're passionate and excited about. And when you're engaged in such work, you do not want to stop. Even when you are tired or hungry or have other things to do, you stretch to try and keep doing it. Find work that you love and you won't have to work another day of your life. You'll just be having fun all the time. And then number 3, do what you are good at. Do what? Do work that you are good at. I'm not very good with numbers. Totting up figures and adding or multiplying them always gives me a headache. So every year, when tax time rolls around, I'm in a bad mood. How about you? You like doing your taxes? Every minute wasted on this mandatory annual activity feels like I'm spending it in a dentist's chair as he works with his drill on my cavity. But I can write for hours and not feel the strain, or operate for 8 hours straight and not even get tired. That's because I'm good at those other things. Do what you're good at. Delegate or automate, or maybe even ignore the other things that you can afford to, and you won't ever run the risk of giving up. When you are good at it, you don't want to give up. Even difficulties become challenges to be conquered, not barriers to keep you down. What are the coping strategies? So you've carefully picked the kind of work to do, work that matters, that you are passionate about, that you are good at. Does this mean that everything will now automatically run smoothly and without trouble? Of course not. You will have just the same kind of problems as you'll have with any other kind of work or projects. The only difference is, and it's a big one, is that you'll be better able to cope with the challenges. Here are some approaches that will help. Number 1, look at the flip side. Look at the flip side. Look at the other side. In an excellent book of the same title, The Flip Side, Adam J. Jackson shares dozens of stories of people who have been beaten down by life, crippling accidents, misfortunes of birth, social, economic, or political circumstance, sheer bad luck. All of this conspire to bring them down and beat them down. But these heroes and heroines, did they give up? Did they give up? No, sir. They fought back by using a simple device. That's the focus of this book. They sought and found the flip side, the silver lining. One reason to just hold on. The light at the end of the tunnel, the elusive golden snitch. And that enriched their lives and powered their dreams along exciting and unimagined directions. They made even greater impact on their world than if they hadn't faced those misfortunes at all. When you look for the hidden good behind all the bad things that happen in your quest for success, the flip side will help you past any blocks and sustain your momentum and progress. Number 2, focus on the goal. Focus on the goal. I was at a fundraising seminar for non-profits when I first heard this story from an accountant who worked with NPOs. He said, NPOs, by the way, are also NGOs, not-for-profit organization, or NGO, non-governmental. They call it NPOs over there, not-for-profit organization. Whenever I'm working on a non-profit accounts, I don't see rows and columns of numbers. I see the smiling faces of the people we are working to help. Do you see that? You are looking at numbers, you are not seeing numbers, you are seeing people. So those numbers take on a life. And you're no longer bored. You are looking at the life of people behind those numbers. What a powerful way to frame the work you're doing. By remaining focused on the outcome of everything you do, every day, in every way, you cannot help but be encouraged and inspired to keep on going. When you pick your task carefully so that the work you do matters, keeping that ultimate goal in mind as you do it can be remarkably motivating. Why are you doing this? Where do you plan to go? What will happen when this is done? The answers will energize you. Don't see obstacles, see solutions. Too often, we tend to focus on the problems and difficulties along our path. Stop. Look for solutions. Look for possibilities. Our minds tend to find whatever we are looking for. Do we see that? Our mind tend to find whatever we are looking for. If you are looking for trouble, your mind will find it. If you are looking for sickness, your mind will find it. If you are looking for disappointment, you will find it. And if you are also looking for excuses, bros, your mind will give you a plethora of excuses. When you start looking for results, your mind will also begin to supply you the results. Our mind tends to find whatever we are looking for. If we are seeking out excuses to fail or to justify our decision not to push forward, we'll find them in the form of setbacks, constraints, and limitations. But if we obsess about finding a way past any of these restraints and breaking through to the level of success we set out in search of, then magically we discover these solutions. That is what led us to what we discovered this morning. Not because it wasn't always there. It's always been there. It's always been there. During one of the worst periods of my online fundraising, I was beset by problems from many different directions. Each one had the potential to destroy all I had worked hard to build over 10 years. All of them happened simultaneously. By choosing to focus on solutions instead of reveling in my troubles, I found them. Quickly, I received help from different quarters. Barely 3 months later, everything was back on an even keel. In fact, slightly better than before. Ask for help and support. Number 4. Ask for help and support. We cannot live in splendid isolation. As attractive as that may sound, we need people around us. What is that? Is that not network?
That's network now.
For many different reasons. And having more people in your circle is generally a good thing. When you feel like giving up, ask for help. The challenges that are scaring you or threatening to break you are probably not as rare or unusual or even impossible to overcome as you once thought. You can tap into the collective experience and wisdom of people like you who probably have had difficulties like yours. And people love to help others anyway, especially when they have faced and overcome a similar challenge. Just ask someone about simple things like how to get rid of your acne or what to do when your cell phone gets soaked in water. And chances are you get a flood of helpful responses. Thank God for the internet now. If you just put that question online, by the end of the day,
1001
responses you will get. You don't have to be seeking which of the best advices you need. Having supportive people in your corner will help keep you going until you catch your second wind of inspiration and motivation from within. Number 5, engage with passionate groups. Engage with passionate groups. Create groups. Enter groups. Passion is contagious. You can't hang around a passionate person without some of that positive energy rubbing off on you. Being in a group of passionate people who are solving their own problems, living their dreams, and pursuing their mission in life can help tide you over any temporary setback. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with naysayers and pessimists who always see the worst possibilities can quickly dull your enthusiasm and make it easier to simply give up. So choose your friends and network wisely. I hope this short report is of some help in keeping you on. Remember, this quote is true. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. The courage and persistence to keep going on past hurdles and obstacles is powered by purpose. Your purpose. Discover it. Tap into it. Achieve it. Ultimately, that's what success means to me and hopefully to you. Thank you. Yaro Starak. Awesome. When I read it, I was awed. It blew me away. If I could, I would have emblazoned this in a banner and just place it for somewhere for people to just read.
All these words.
That's what I'm saying. I said if I could, but of course I can't. If it were possible, I would. Put it on a big banner and just put it somewhere. When you have read it, go home and sleep. Go home and sleep. Because it has said it all. And anybody who aspires for entrepreneurship should go through this. When I started out as an entrepreneur, if I had known what I know now, I'll be somewhere different. That's the truth. This guy is what? Is a surgeon. He's not an entrepreneur. He's not a businessman in the sense of a business person, but he's somebody who is driven by purpose. Purpose. When you live a purpose-driven life, miracles just begin to happen to you on a daily basis. Miracles. It's not because you are not going to have challenges. Not because obstacles will not come, but you don't see them anymore. You don't see them anymore. They just become mere stepping stones. When they come, you are just asking, how will I climb it over? Because your eyes are focused on that your purpose. That's your purpose. Nothing. Either you make it or you die on the way there. Simple. You die in the process. But that you gave up, because you to your bed. There's nothing like that. Yes, we'll take responses, we'll take questions, and in the context. Let us still go back and go through that thing, carefully, and let's take notes. Perhaps it's something we should still discuss another time. I just love that piece. Thank you for sharing it with us. It's priceless. It's priceless. There's so many lessons to be learned from there. But one is purpose. What is your life's great purpose? Find it. And then persistence, never giving up. All of that things we can begin to add. Yes. Any reactions? Any additions? Yes. Any?
I think Ebony what?
Transforming lives for life.
137.
The Ebony way.
People talk to people.
And people understand.
Thank you, sir. As a matter of fact, if you look at the time that I posted it, I think it will be before 4 or something. So when I look at the time that he was saying, you wake up sometimes, you know how to do this. I say, look, so there's no time you can't wake up as fast as it is your dream. Well, I think he said it almost all. I think he said it almost all. But it was sharing, you see that after sharing on the group, I think shared on the individuals. Because when I read it myself, I say, no. Some people who read things on the group, but let me put it on their. You can see me even reading it from our home page. So, thank you, sir. We are learning. We are really learning. In fact, when I read it myself, I was blown away. That's why I said, no. This, I got it in the search. I was searching for information online, and then I got it. I just made a few additions. That's why I now. So, I think he said it all. It's just those things are not bread and butter principles. They are not bread and butter principles. So it's everything encapsulated what we are discussing here, what we are going through, everything. He said almost everything. So I think you finish it by saying if you have your way, you can even split it in this thing. But if I have my way, of course, anyway, the little way I can go, that's why I just decided to share it. So, but if one has a way to now make it a way, let people read, fine. It's a good piece. Thank you, sir.
You can include it in your sausage digest now.
That's in the magazine.
Yes, now. So that's another way of putting it in a blazing that people can see. It's awesome. Yes, any other response before we close this phase of our class again today and move on to something else?
Well, for me, I just have to go through it again and let it sink and digest.
Even I'm going to go through it again. I'm going to go through it again now with a pen and a paper and begin to take notes again. Because each time you read that thing, you are going to get a further insight into something else. It's not just a story.
And in fact, we can make it a topic for one of our Garden of Champions. So you talk on it. As you talk on it, other people make contributions, questions.
So let's go back and go through it.
And it's not as if the man is a networker.
No, it's not. It's a surgeon. It's a surgeon, pediatric surgeon. A surgeon for children.
And he's talking like someone. Anyway, I think he's talking from experience.
No, man, he's talking from his heart. It's from his side. That's what he said. It's from his personal experience.
There's a man like him, Maxwell Morse. Maxwell Morse. That was also a surgeon too. And he's a motivational writer too. He's seen who wrote the title of this book. Psychoanalysis.
So the question is, when you read it, what is your own story? How you growing your own story? Your journey. There's so many things. So let's go back. Let's look at it. We'll look at it again at another time. I just got it this morning and I felt I've studied it, as a story that I will retain for a long, long time, for my own personal motivation, my own personal growth, my own personal encouragement, and each of us, let's go back and look at it and come up with our own lessons. It's not only, I just read it this morning, we have not taught on it. I only just read it. So let's also go back. You, that you even posted it, you should teach us on it, not me teaching, it's you.
Nobody can teach.
No. Sorry, you teach on it. Please don't. I said you learn better when you teach. How can you be afraid to teach on it? Are you not the one that shared it?
One of our Garden of Champions.
Yes.
Come out and
you teach on it. What's wrong with you teaching on it?
It is a topic on its own, which everybody can.
Everybody can teach on it. You read it. What are the lessons you are taking away from there? And then now personalize it. Come out with what you have seen inside there. You can anybody can teach on it. It's not me. Am I the writer? You are the one that shared it to me. So let us all be passionate about the things we do. When we read things too, can we also context it, put it in context, and let's take ownership for it. It's part of our development. It's part of the people that we are, our people. We should read that, and that we should become like him. That's not the truth. Our people. It's part of the refinement. That's why I started with, when you teach, you learn more. When you give, you receive more. When you reveal, you get more revelation. When you give insight, you yourself, you get more insight. So at that point, I will conclude on that, and we can go on to something else. Thank you very much.